kind of, kind of, kind of. All right, I'm gonna give it a few minutes here and let some people come in here live. I did not announce it, nothing, just showing up, because it's what I do on Saturday mornings. I lie to myself. I say I'm gonna do it on Friday and announce it. I could do it before that even, and I didn't do any of that. So here we go. Let me mute my computer so I can pull it up. I'm going to talk to, today I'm going to speak to about when we complete something energetically, emotionally, some kind of pattern, or programming. That's the word I want. The nervous system is recalibrates. When it recalibrates, I've noticed myself when I've had some really big things shifting around finances, that I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm gripped in this panic because it's that spike, that purging spike of holy crap, the old is leaving, the old ways are leaving. And as they're leaving, there's no fanfare, there's no big celebration. But the brain's like, wait, I have to hang on. I have to keep doing what I always do. I have to keep doing what I know. And so it's trying to hold on. And so it brings that fear, really deep fear. It happened the other day. I got a new car and then I was gripped in this fear. And then after waking up from a nap, it just like, oh my God, how am I? But it's the same story. It's the same dialogue. Nothing changes. It's always the same thing. That's how you know it's the mind. And when our nervous system is recalibrating, that's like the final purging of the ick and the way that we've done it all along, so that it can reset and rewire. Mel, hello. I thought that might be you. I'm so glad you make it. I don't know what's happening. I just don't even announce it and just show up. And so I tell myself I'm going to, and then I don't do it. I don't know. I don't have a good reason. I don't even have any. I said earlier, I'm like, I just lie to myself and say I'm going to do it and tell you I'm going to do it, and then it doesn't happen. So I'm just speaking to what's been going on for me and how it can help you. Because what's been going on for me is some really big shifting, some final. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Some final vestiges of patterning. And I go, some things are so easy. Hello, Alita. Some things are so easy to clear and move out. And then there's the deeper layers of stuff that we've done for, the poverty consciousness, the abusive relationships, the things like that. Those are probably two of the main things that we do over and over and over. So they're really deep patterns. And when they finally start to, we've been doing this path, we've been doing this walk, we've been doing the work, we've been clearing the stuff for a long time. And then when we get to the very depths of it, and it's clearing. And then I got a new car. So the panic then in the middle of the night, I wake up in the middle of the night and the panic, the subconscious is coming through and I'm in this panic and I'm sweating and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? How am I going to pay for it? How am I? So when you start to see the dialogue is the same dialogue that always happens, that's your mind, but it's the indication that your nervous system is resetting and it's this final, like a spike purge spike, how is it? So that final purging of the old stuff, it spikes in your nervous system. And the brain's trying to hold on to the old ways, the ways that are familiar, the ways that we know. This is the part that we don't talk a lot about. I haven't talked a lot about it. I didn't know to talk about it. until I start experiencing these really deep layers clearing, truly clearing. I'm not just like giving it lip service. Like it's truly clearing and truly changing. And the deeper we go, the deeper the reset in the nervous system, those deep layers are coming to the surface. So those things happen, and then it's to not take any action, let it ride the wave. Local cat lover, have a good day. Yes, you have a good day too. We have lots of cats. We do. We love our cats. The other day, my husband's like, what good are cats? What do they do? What? I'm like, well, they keep the critters away. I've seen a couple of snakes, but one of them was dead because the cat got it. So they do their job. They do a job. I pulled out some cards because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about, and then it comes clear. Yeah. And I am in excruciating reflection mode, telling myself, ride the wave. This one's almost over. And then you're in the next one, and it feels like, holy fuck, what are we ever done? Yes. So breathing through it, it helps to understand. It's always helped me to have a little understanding or a lot of understanding about what's happening to be able to ride it. Because I'll go off down the deep end, whatever. And get stuck in the roller coaster and the same old dialogue and the same old drama. Because that's our habit, right? And I used to go down that path, and then I'd be like, what are you doing? We don't do this, or we've been shifting out of this, but the brain is trying to hold on to what's familiar. And so we start to repeat. So when you see that, pay attention. Just pay attention to the repetitive thoughts, because it's nothing new. Your brain cannot create something new. It only knows what it's experienced. And so when we're truly walking through it and clearing it out, the brain's like, no, we have to keep you safe. We have to do the same thing over and over and over, even though it's not really safe. The nervous system recognizes that. That's how we've been wired. It's the illusion of safety. It's not really safety when you look at it. Sometimes I say things and I think, how did I ever think that was safety? Because that's what the nervous system recognizes. That's what the brain recognizes. The deeper we go, the more rewiring of the nervous system creates safety and different levels, different kinds of trust in ourselves. Until that becomes normal. But until that becomes a more normal way of being, the brain still grasps. Somebody asked me one day if it ever truly changes and I don't have the same things happen again and again. And there have been many things that have actually truly gone. And if it ever comes back and comes through, it's like a whisper. It's not a thought that takes control. So there are behaviors that truly aren't in my repertoire anymore. Some of the ones that are really deep are relationships, poverty, survival. We've been living this for lifetimes, through our generations, through our families. And if you're here with me, we are the ones that decided. At the soul level, we decided to break the cycle. Now, we're breaking the cycle of accumulation of lifetimes and generations of patterns and behaviors. That's why it feels so hard sometimes. It feels very overwhelming at times. It feels like too much at times. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Why the hell did I sign up for this? What was I thinking? So I've asked myself all those questions. Why did I say yes? I would never. Now consciously, I'd be like, my brain goes, I would never sign up for this. I would have never said I would do this. But our soul knows different. The higher self, your soul, your consciousness, whatever you call that. It's different. So it's feels like a lot. So when we're completing things and really truly letting them clear, there's a place of resting a little bit. Get to rest a little bit for a moment until the next thing shows up. We have moved out of the 9 year and now we're in the 10 1 year, new beginnings. There's still, now we're in this full moon. Today's the full moon. So we're still in this, what feels intense, but the energy itself is a much lighter. I've been feeling that for probably three weeks or so, 4 weeks maybe. Just the shifting of the energy, even though there was a lot that's still there. There's a lot of stuff there, a lot of intense things happening. It just feels lighter. I'm not really sure why. It just feels lighter, and I like that. I'm grateful for that. Let's see. Do you have any questions? I'm looking at some notes. Sometimes we get in the flow, we get in alignment. I'm raising my hand. Me, I get into flow, I get into alignment, and that ease and comfort is not familiar. All I want to do is eat dessert. I don't care what it is. Eat it then. Eat it. That will change. Some of the cycles of our food choices, it will change. As your body changes, as your emotional state changes, as you're raising in your vibration, it'll all change. Hot food causes discomfort after. So you're probably dispersing some heat in your body, and when you're dispersing heat, you don't want to eat hot. Or if you have inflammation, you don't want to add heat to heat. Like they say, put ice on your swollen joints, or you sprain your ankle or whatever, or you have some other thing. Maybe it's chronic and people want to put heat because it's so comforting, but it causes more inflammation. There we go. I'm eating and not gaining either. There you go. Yeah, it happens that way. When we are learning to stand in new places, different places that are actually safe, creating safety for ourselves, the old dialogue and the old patterns, and sometimes the energy in our bodies, like, no, this is not familiar, and so we start doubting it. So again, it's writing it through and understanding that you're resetting, you're rewiring the nervous system. So every time we do that, every time we get the downloads and the upgrades and the things that are vibrationally upgrading, then our body has to catch up. So we're going to eat those kind of things. We're going to eat different. So go with it. Don't give it a lot of meaning. We have a lot of meaning around food and all that stuff. Just do it. Good one again. Awesome. Yeah, just eat it because you want to eat it. Right? Don't make it an issue. Sometimes we're like just hungry, like we're ravenous, can't get enough food. And then other times I'm like, don't want to eat it all. And then other times it's some kind of food, some particular kind of food. So just roll with it. Sugar is crystalline. Sugar crystals, they turn into crystals. Our body is crystalline. So sometimes we need that as we're upgrading. So that's another piece of it. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, the mind wants to be in control. So when we're out of our element and we're being upgraded and we're creating new spaces of trusting ourselves, it's incremental. Just like how some of it all leaves incrementally. It's not all gone at once, because that would create all kinds of different things in us. Some things are like instant. They're done. When it's done, so we're like, done. That energy left, that pattern's gone. The mind still has to catch up, because the mind is the storyteller. The mind is the recorder of our experiences. And so that's all it has to go on, is our experiences. Then it's paying attention to your mind, catching the mind. I hear your voice at the time from coaching when you told me how to handle it. Excellent. I like that. I don't guilt trip myself. Mark told me I can. Now I know why. Yes, you have permission. Sometimes we do need that. Really, we need permission. Sometimes we need permission to feel safe. We need permission to change our ways. We need permission to eat the kind of food, because we weren't always given that. And we often got in trouble for that as kids. Right? So as adults now, we're giving permission. And the card from this deck, the inner temple. Mercy. Have mercy with yourself. Right? Like, be gentle. No idea how these cards are not in order. They're in categories. So hang on, let me see what I want to find and see what it says. Mercy. 74. Reparenting. Yes, give ourselves permission. Yes, it is a beautiful card. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. Mercy, compassion, tenderness. This is what the world most needs. Peace isn't possible without this. Oneness isn't either. Mercy is the medicine for humanity in these divisive times, especially when we are not extending it to ourselves. Right? Give mercy to ourselves. Give ourselves grace. Let the dehumanizing stop. May the division melt away within the collective and within ourselves. Life is full of experiences that cause the heart to harden, to close over, to shut off in an effort to protect or avoid. But this hardening, closing, shutting down prevents us from receiving the joy, peace, and love that we most long for and need. Mercy, compassion, and tenderness can soften what has hardened, melt what has frozen over, open what has closed. It's beautiful. That's just beautiful. Being kind. When we're shifting and it's rapid, it's going really fast. I went through right toward the end of the year, there was about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. It was just like rapid fire. Things were changing and evolving just quick. Because we were in that 9 year, so a lot of shedding and clearing of the old. And it just kind of came to this head where it was shedding and the new was coming in. I'm like, now that's slowed down. It hasn't stopped totally, but it's slowed down. Now it's giving myself time to rest and reset, which we're moving into the winter. We just had the winter solstice. So we're moving into winter, which is the time that we go inward to take care of ourselves, to reflect on the previous year, to allow these things to integrate and allow our systems to restructure and our nervous system to reset. So be gentle. It takes being gentle with yourself. Because the mind is quick. It wants to get in there and jump in there and keep doing what it's always done because that's what it thinks is going to keep you safe. That's what it's wired for. There's actual studies that the brain gets miswired. That's true or not, miswired, but it gets wired to what we grew up in. And if we grew up in homes that were emotionally unavailable, perfect. Rest and reset. It's been intense. Yes, it's been very intense. Even the rest and reset is intense because we're used to going. But our nervous system from children, we were wired for emotionally unavailable parents or very abusive parents or alcoholic parents or just never good enough, whatever it was, critical parents. That's what we're wired for. And so when things change and we're being rewired, the brain's like, nope, nope, nope. Even though it's not really safe, that's what the brain equates with safety. And so when it starts to reset, the nervous system gets reset, the brain's like, wait, no way, no, I need to hang on to that. What's familiar? And that's where we're writing it through so the nervous system can reset and we get comfortable with ease and grace and mercy. We get comfortable with that. And we stop trying to force ourselves to move past or push through. So I have a person in my world that is having a baby and things were moving and things were progressing. And so they set a date to induce. I have lots of opinions about that. It's just so against what is natural and what Mother Nature has designed us to do as women giving birth. It's true in anything that we're giving birth to, whether it's our ideas, our creations. Well, after inducing Pitocin, nothing changed. So she went home. Because the baby's going to come on its own time. When we're birthing things, not always a physical baby, but when we're giving birth to things and we're changing and we're rewiring and new things are coming in, it's time. And it's in its time. It's not in my time. That's why that rest and reset is so important. Having mercy and compassion with ourselves is super important. The brain's going to catch up. The nervous system's already being rewired. The energy's already there, but the brain has to catch up now. Being vigilant, paying attention to where you want to run off on those old frameworks. Reel yourself back in. Keep yourself still. When I first moved here, I would hold on to the arms of the chair so I could sit still because I'm like, oh, I gotta finish unpacking and I need to do this and I need to do laundry and I need to. It's endless. It's always going to be there. And I would hold the chair to make myself sit still. It was very uncomfortable. I still have those moments, not nearly as often, but I can actually sit down and read a book today and not feel like I have to constantly be producing something. And that's the practice. It's not listening here, it's listening here. Listening to what your body needs. It won't lie to you. And allowing it to adjust. Allow yourself to adjust. This card, Mercy, is so perfect. If we don't have mercy for ourselves, we're not going to have it for anyone else. And if I don't have it for somebody else, then I know I damn well don't have it for me. It starts with me. But you're a reflection of me. So if I'm sitting in judgment of you, just a mirror, ask yourself the question, if I'm sitting in a judgment of somebody, somebody said to me today they were disappointed in their partner, and I said, well, how are you disappointed with yourself? I'm not. I stopped talking. There's nowhere else to go in this conversation. Right? I get that better now. It takes time. People don't always get that in the beginning when I say it. But it's simply a reflection. In the context of, and we say it, we hear it, do we really know what it means? We're all one. Now I really get the mirror. Yes, we're all one. And so everything is a projection of me from my perspective. If I'm doing it to somebody else, I'm looking at the world through whatever color glasses I wear, I'm doing it to me. 100%. Now, there are some things that I don't do anymore, and I kind of look and go, oh, yes, I used to do that. I can see it. I have a friend right now that, I'm like, oh, she's so me. She's so me 10 years ago. Yeah, probably 10 years ago. Up to that part of my life. People pleaser, always looking outside of myself, always looking for external validation. I find myself wanting to be very protective from what's happening. It's not my place. I simply get to ask the questions and help them to see. And share my experience. I did share my experience. I'm like, this is how it was. This is why I did it. Sometimes people can hear that. They can hear it easier than me pointing a finger and telling them what they're doing. So that's where the questioning and the experience. There's moments I just go, oh, and there I am. There I am. I'm doing it to me through my perspective. Your perspective is everything. So however you view the world is how you view yourself. Yes, that is correct. I'm going to expand on it a little bit. However we were raised, however we see the world, however our parents saw the world, that's how we see the world. Like, right, I look through these glasses, this is how I see the world. How I view the world, that's my perspective, is how I view myself. My second husband, raging guy, inside. On his inside. And I was on my inside. But when I told him I wanted a divorce, I saw a person that I had never met before come out. But he was the external. He was saying all the things that I was thinking about myself. He was the external representation of what I was doing on my insides. It was ugly. It was very ugly. But that's how I viewed the world, and that's how I viewed him. Most of us are born in a place of fear. And so we create all these mechanisms and all these personalities to hang on to whatever we feel safe with or to protect ourselves. It takes a while to unpack that and to understand. My ex was the same. Wow, yes, right? So I put it like this. If I had a friend that spoke to me the way that I spoke to me, we would never be friends. Ever. But I had people speak to me that way. Often a mate. Because I don't feel worthy of anything else. So when I see my friend being spoken to in this way by someone who, I'm just like, oh, hell no. So I'm like quick to point it out. It's like, I have to back up a little bit. That's not helpful. presenting the questions and sharing my experience so that the person can see it differently, then they get it. Me just telling them, they don't always get it. Yeah. So as we are moving through these upgrades and higher vibrations, we're being completely rewired. We're being rewired to what our original blueprint was, what we originally came here in ancient times, how we came here to be and what we came here to do and why we came to the earth. And then we got hijacked somewhere along the way when we got curious and wanted to know other things. Call that what? The tree of knowledge. It's all of most religions have some kind of story like that. So when we got curious, we wanted to know other things, we opened the door for other things to come in. Now we're in a stage of remembering what our original purpose was, and it's in like an upgraded way. So it wasn't meant to be hard. It wasn't meant to be suppressed and oppressed and fear and slavery and all the things that we see, all the divisiveness that we see. It wasn't meant to be this way. We're coming online, so to speak, and remembering how powerful we are, who we are, why we are, and why we said yes. I'm going to let you sit with that one. All right. The dragon, this one. Aquamarine dragon from Neptune enables you to access your deepest soul wisdom. Can't make it up. Spirituality and wisdom are available to you. Develop your psychic abilities and receive ineffable soul knowledge. My parents don't speak bad of people, so I needed to learn to read the energy to determine who's safe. Yeah. Sorry. Like, my parents did, but it was always behind closed doors. And then they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't have any boundaries about it and just bitch about it. And I'm like, oh my God. So, yes, learning to read the energy. Well, and learning to separate yourself and learning to trust the energy. I read energy like crazy, but I didn't know that then. And I didn't know to trust myself because I was taught that, you respect your elders and you do what you're told. And that's how I ended up in getting molested at 10 years old. Because I was supposed to trust my elders. But I knew intuitively and energetically, always creeped me out. And all of us girls did that. We went into the barn. And in that time, I think it was the sheriff that came out and they just, just don't let that happen. If somebody does that, you just brush it under the carpet. So I could read the energy, but it was the, respect our elders, right? It was the trusting myself. At that time, I was never taught to say no. Ever. So I get it. It's just a little opposite of what you had said. My parents did speak, but to their face, they never would say terrible things. There just were no boundaries. No emotional kind of boundaries, no emotional availability. And so learning how to, it's taken a lot of time and practice to learn how boundaries and to trust what I'm reading. And to know I'm not crazy. Thought for a long time I was crazy. Yes, I didn't realize until later that's what I was doing. Yes, exactly. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know if we ever get there, so to speak, but we are definitely made a lot of progress. Queen of boundaries here, and I still have places that I find can be muddy. Not as much. When I know I've talked about this because people would come up and touch not just this necklace, but they would come up and that's so pretty, and I'd be like, who do you think you are? This is my medicine. And I wanted to retaliate and grab their boob and go, well, look at how pretty that is. Be nasty about it. Because don't do that. Because there's people who don't have any boundaries. Like pregnant women. They don't have any boundaries. Or babies. So having boundaries. Once I got clear about where I was still being muddy, nobody has touched it since. And I wear it all the time. We didn't know we could trust ourselves because we weren't trained. Absolutely. Or taught. Like, thank God we are now. Yes, we were not taught. Our parents didn't know either. Let's be clear. Mom and dad can't teach us, or whoever raised you can't teach you what they don't know. If they don't know how to drive a car, they can't teach you how to drive a car, and you can't learn it from reading a book. You know, we blame our parents for all these things, and they can't tell us. They can't do what they don't know how to do. They can't be emotionally available if they were raised in an alcoholic home and never got treatment or help for it. They just can't do it. And it's up to us to stop blaming them and take responsibility for our own life and our own emotional state and our own trusting ourselves. It's not their job. I didn't even know that was coming out of my mouth. I blamed my parents for a very long time. They raised me the best way they could. Even if you grew up in this violent, abusive home, they raised you the best they knew how, because that's what's happened to them. And if they aren't doing any of their work, if you will, then they're not changing. They don't know how to change, nor do they want to. They didn't say yes, we did. I say that from my own experience. Oh, did you see that flash? Yeah, thanks, Dad. That was my dad. Whew. So, here we go. Aquamarine Dragon from Neptune. Accessing our deepest soul wisdom. This is where we could learn mercy and compassion by realizing and remembering that they went through this too, and boy, does this suck. Yes. Can you imagine what they went through, and they're a better version or an upgraded version of their parents? I learned after my grandfather died just how incredibly abusive he was, verbally and physically. I never experienced that from him as his grandchild. But yeah. There's a place of growing up and understanding that if I have someone in my life that doesn't know how to be nice or doesn't want to be nice, then it's not my job. It's not my job to teach them, and I have a choice to stay in their life or not. But again, it's not blaming them for it. It's who they are. It's taken me a long time. Trust me, I've sat in judgment for a long time. How dare you treat me that way and all that. And they didn't have ice cream. So readily available to them either. Oh my God, that's what Will's laughing about. Yes, right? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah. I sometimes have an idea and then of what I'm going to speak to, and then it rolls off into something else, and I just trust it and I just roll with it. I know that it all is helpful, and circling all the way back to this is all about us rewiring that nervous system and giving ourselves some grace and mercy. Be kind to yourself. It's not always easy. And there are days I'm like, well, you're a dumbass. I'll do something or I'll say something and that'll go through my head. I'll be like, oh, yeah. I catch it now, but I used to just not even acknowledge it, or I would just like let it lie there. Now I just go, oh, no, let's not do that. I would never call a child that. I would never speak to someone else that way. Well, that's not true. I might say it to someone else. Just gotta be honest about it. Yeah. So timely, all of it today. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Love it, love it. All right, lovelies. Happy full moon. Yeah, remember during this time, things are amplified. Our feelings, our emotions, all that stuff is amplified. So yeah, have mercy with yourself. Drink lots of water. Go ground yourself. Go put your bare feet on the earth. Someone was asking me about grounding sheets, and I'm like, they have their place. But if we'll go put our bare feet on the earth or go lay on the earth, the natives slept on the earth. Indigenous people slept on the earth. They didn't sleep in beds for a reason. They didn't suffer nearly as much as we suffer today from aches and pains and things because they slept on the earth. So put your feet on the earth, drink water, put a little sea salt in it, helps your body absorb the water, hydrates you, brings you minerals. Very welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for looking for me at 10 o'clock. I was a little bit late, but I didn't, I can't even talk about it anymore. I'm just going to either do it or not do it, and you'll show up with me. So I appreciate you being here. Have a beautiful weekend. Happy full moon. And I will see you soon. Namaste.